was prepared to take the next flight out. I said, tell me, give me a list of names and I will be there because no one is messing with my siblings but me. I think a dark sense of humor is fun. Really, Jasmine? Why would you say that? That was kind of rude. Oh my God, should we be worried about you? Crisscross applesauce. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna be doing my skincare as I talk about things that I'm grateful for. Growing up, I didn't really take time to sit down and think about things that were positive in my life. I would always focus on the really negative things. This past year though, I've worked a lot on trying to focus on the positives. And with that, it's things that I'm grateful for. So I figured that I would talk about that a little bit today because maybe your mindset was also the same way, or you're wired the same way where you're just hyper fixated on all the negative and you're kind of called a negative Nancy for years by all of your friends and family. And I think it's a good exercise for anyone to do, honestly. So maybe if you haven't sat down for a while and really thought about what you've kind of been blessed with in this lifetime, maybe this video will kind of remind you to do that. Who knows? You know, as we make it to the end of the year, that's even more important to kind of sit back and reflect on all of the things that have happened over the past 12 months. And doing my skincare is really necessary right now because one of the things that I've kind of struggled with over the years has been my self-image. And as part of that, it's acne. And I've been trying product after product after product to try to figure this hormonal acne out, and I feel like I'm getting to a place where it's kind of a little bit better, but at the same time, like, it's still very frustrating to see marks. So I wanted to talk about what I've been using / some new products that I got, and maybe you've had a good experience with them. And then I have this glass of water here because water plays a really important role in your skin's health. I've been really slacking on water, which also causes me to break out sometimes. So I figured while I make this video, I'm gonna drink this and maybe even try to drink 2, depending on how long I'm gonna talk, because I can talk forever. I literally just woke up like 30 minutes ago, so my voice is still really raspy. Hold on. Okay. I was trying to do at least 3 a day, which I think was not horrible. I titled this Reasons to be Grateful, and then I have the date, and then I kind of have like an overarching, not theme, but I guess statement. The one that I think is most important, I've always kind of lived by, is nothing in life is guaranteed. That's when people say you should tell your loved ones that you love them every day and da-da-da. It's because you could literally die tomorrow. And that's something that's always in the back of my head. So first thing on the list, and it's the first thing I always kind of think about when I think about what I'm grateful for, is healthy and supportive family members. I always think about health when I'm thinking about things I'm grateful for, because I could have literally been born with poor health or some sort of issue and I came out fine. And there are billions of people who haven't been quite lucky. And you know, I complain when I get a cold. A lot of people complain when they get sinus infections and stuff like that, but there are literally people out there who have had difficulty breathing since birth. And I'm not saying that to kind of minimize your feelings in the moment and whatever, but that's just the hard truth. Something as minimal in the grand scheme of things as a cold shouldn't make you flip out. I sometimes would flip out when I would get sick because I'm like, I'm usually so healthy. This is kind of ridiculous. I didn't think it would last this long. I didn't think I'd get sick in the first place. You know, all those things run through your head. That's normal. But then after all the complaining, the bitching and moaning, I eventually get back to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just grateful for the fact that I am still breathing and can breathe normally to begin with. I watch a lot of medical shows, so I do end up seeing different cases where people have, you know, certain conditions that they're born with that give them a hard time throughout life. So I would say that I'm reminded of that more regularly than most people, I guess. I guess because I'm in the fitness space, I see that more often on social media. And I kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of forget that people don't really have the feed that I do. Like, there are people out there who just don't work out and their feed might be food and celebrities. Meanwhile, I'm watching people who are recovering from a surgery or a traumatic event and are in the gym doing crazy that I wish I could do. And it's very inspiring, but also, yeah, it reminds me to kind of reflect on my life and how I'm feeling about myself and how other people might, you know, struggle a little bit more than the average person. I feel like this video is gonna be so long because I've just been rambling about health, and this was the first bullet point. But I want to talk on the second half, which is supportive family members. I have very supportive friends and family, and whenever I feel like I'm struggling with something, I'm able to talk to them about it. I am a little bit stubborn though, so sometimes I won't bring it up until I've already gotten over it, which I don't necessarily recommend. You know, if you have a therapist though, and you feel more comfortable talking to them about something that is currently upsetting you, then please do. I think, you know, part of my ego gets in the way sometimes, where I feel like I have to figure it out by myself first before bringing it up to somebody, because I think, you know, once my feelings and whatever are resolved about the situation, then we're not going to kind of harp on it. And I don't like bringing up the same situation to friends and family, especially if I know how to fix it. I kind of have to get over that sometimes though. Like I feel like I'm right to a certain extent. I don't know, do you guys like agree with me when it comes to kind of talking about your feelings? I feel like a therapist is more useful if there's an ongoing issue and you kind of want to work it out over the course of several months. But when it comes to navigating it with friends and family, it just gets a little bit trickier. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very grateful for the fact that my friends and family are always here to support me if I'm struggling through something, if I need a little bit more guidance. Having a support system in place is massively important for your mental well-being. So if you don't have that support system, I would, you know, try to figure out an avenue to creating some sort of community, or if it's not a community, therapy. Side note, my eyebrows have been messed up for so long. They're so bad right now. I love sitting on the floor, but sometimes it's kind of like, ugh. The next bullet point is friends who've been there for me through thick and thin. I've been talking friends and family this whole time. So yeah, my friends and my circle is very small. Have always been there for me and have my back, and vice versa. I think you get out of relationships what you put into them. So if you feel like you're not getting the support from people around you, maybe evaluate how you're supporting them. If you're supporting them out and they're just not there for you, that's a different story. Some people are takers, some people are more givers. I've had relationships where I felt like I was giving it, and I wasn't getting it in return. So yeah, it just in general though, evaluate it, because sometimes you might not realize it at first and you feel like there's something wrong, but you can't really pinpoint it until you sit down and reflect. Although I have few friends, the friendships that I do have, I really cherish. So very grateful for those people. You know who you are. Next up on the list, I wrote the tight-knit relationship I have with my sister. Yo, a sisterly bond is something crazy different that unless you have a sister, you don't really understand it. And maybe that's like an over-exaggeration, I don't know. But at the same time, I'm like, you really don't understand a sister dynamic unless you're in one. I would sometimes get into the worst fights with my sister. They would be over something really small. They would be so heated. And I've literally seen videos on TikTok where like sisters are getting into full out brawls. Anyway, it's just interesting that you could literally go from a cat fight to being totally chill in a couple hours and the issue is usually resolved. Because to me, there's literally no one closer to me than my sister. Although we fight, like I know that she has my back 110%, and it's the same the other way around. Like no one is going to mess with my sister and vice versa. There have literally been times where my sister was getting bullied and I was prepared to take the next flight out. I said, give me a list of names and I will be there, because no one is messing with my siblings but me, especially my sister. The next one I wrote is the opportunity I had to go to college. I went to college, got a bachelor's degree. You know, to me, I don't know. I always thought, because this is what they fed you, that you go to high school, you do well, you go to college, you do well, you get a really good job. I was like, not going to college isn't an option. That's just what you do. But I kind of forget that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to. College taught me a lot about myself as a person. It taught me a lot about how to navigate relationships and time management skills. So there are a lot of things you can learn just going through the process, even if you don't come out of it with a degree. So for the people who aren't able to go, they might be missing out on some of those opportunities for growth and So yeah, I'm just grateful I was able to go. But not only that, I was able to go to a school of my choice. I almost had to go to a school I did not want to go to at all, and I was crying. And I don't cry over stuff like that usually. My mom was stunned, but I was very upset. I just didn't want a repeat of high school. Just imagine, college is supposed to be this experience where you discover yourself, meet new people, but then to go to a college where a large percentage, or what feels like a large percentage of the people there are from your high school, hard pass. Okay, I'm gonna finish up my eyebrows because I feel like I can't talk and work on these at the same time, and then we can just get into the rest of the list and the skincare. And we're back. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, to be honest with you. I always wait until my eyebrows look horrendous, and then I get mad at myself because I'm like, it will take ages for me to fix this. They're definitely sisters, not twins. It'll have to do. I always just pluck them. I tried to wax them once and it didn't work out. And then after I do that, I feel like they're in a good spot. I will go in with scissors, trim them, and then I run some alcohol across them. I realized that if I don't do the alcohol step like 2 to 3 times a day for like 4 days after I did them, then I will have a really bad breakout. So that's why they're really red right now. And I'm not gonna put any product over it because I don't want to clog the pores or risk a breakout. So yeah, what will I do first though? In terms of skincare, I'm having a little bit of a breakout moment here. So I've used Murad products before. So this is the Deep Relief Acne Treatment. I had the tube version before, and I think it worked really well. I use it like twice a day on a stubborn spot. I feel like the pimple would disappear. So I'm just gonna take a little, what are these called? Whatever these are called, and dab it on the troublesome spots, and then we'll see. Hopefully it disappears because I want to be pretty. I saw these on TikTok. I figured I would give these a try. They're the Peptide Collagen Hydrogel Eye Patches. It helps your eyes look less puffy. It says it revitalizes skin, whatever that's supposed to mean. Apply to clean, dry skin, leave on for 10 minutes or longer. So I already have stuff on my face, so I'm not gonna be using this right now. Maybe tonight, but I do feel like I need stuff. I've heard that niacinamide works really great for dark spots. So I bought this. It's from Anua. I already had their moisturizer and I feel like the moisturizer was like okay, but this one had really good reviews, so I figured I'd give it a go. I've been using tretinoin for 4 months now, so I'm not really sure if like it'll be overkill with this one and tretinoin, but we'll see. If my face decides to flip out, then you guys will be the first to know. I'm not gonna put that on my face right now, I don't think. No. Okay, and then this is Beauty of Joseon. So I've used their products plenty of times before. I like their Dynasty cream. I like this way more than the Anua moisturizer. I just feel like this isn't as moisturizing. I don't know. I feel like I have to go in with this twice, whereas one little squirt of this does the job. So I bought it again, and then I bought the eye serum. This also has retinol in it. So I feel like with all the retinol stuff that I'm taking, my face should look like glass eventually. I'm gonna put this on my face right now. Let me know if you've tried both products and which you think works better for your skin type. But yeah, I'm gonna put this on, and then I'm gonna get my jade roller and my gua sha because I want my face to look snatched. This one's a new product for me, so in the mornings I'm trying to use this. This is for normal to oily skin, and it's their purifying foaming cleanser. I use an oil cleanser at night, and I'll sit there and really, you know, get all the gook out of my pores. I've only literally had this for like 4 days, so in the mornings I'm using this. The tretinoin I'm using is drying out my skin really, really bad, and I feel like in combination with this, it's hella dry. So I might have to use 2 moisturizers, or I don't know. We're figuring it out together. This is all too new, but if you use this, let me know what you think of it. And if it, you know, if there's a better one out there, down to hear it. My dermatologist was recommending CeraVe or CeraVe, whatever it's called, but I've heard horrible things about that, so I didn't want to try it. I've heard better things about this one, so I don't know. Yeah, let me get my gua sha, and then we can get back to my gratitude list. Yay! It's still in the packaging it came in, and I keep it just like this in the freezer because apparently rolling it on your face when it's cold is actually better for you, so whatever. I don't know if I should do the gua sha first and then the roller, or if it really matters. I was trying to use up my Anua one before I opened this one, but my face is so dry. I really need this. I use like that much. So next one, oh my god, this feels so nice. It feels like water almost. It's not as thick as the Anua one. I just feel like it's more hydrating. I don't know. Ooh, I accidentally put it around my eyebrows. That hurt. I'm gonna have to wipe that off later. I think I'm gonna jump around actually. So I put the abundance of sunlight I get in my apartment because not everything has to be that damn deep. Sunlight just makes me feel so much better. And with the winter, it's literally dark as hell at 4 o'clock. So I'm just really grateful for the fact that I get really nice light in my apartment. Like I get direct sunlight at a certain time of day. And without that, I think I'd honestly be miserable. I don't know how people live in Seattle. Couldn't be me, because what do you mean that it's cloudy and rainy most of the time? I'd be so depressed. I'm sad if it's not sunny for 2 to 3 days in a row. Just imagine 7 days a week. So yeah, anyway, yeah, not everything has to be super deep when you make your gratitude list. I have a couple in here, like I put my dark sense of humor. I think I'm pretty funny, and I've had people tell me that I'm funny. There are some people out there that are just gonna try to drag you down though, so I've definitely had a couple of those where they're like, your sense of humor is, but I think a dark sense of humor is fun. It's more enjoyable to me than making like corny dad jokes, although I do make corny dad jokes from time to time. I hope I'm doing this right, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like my family really appreciates my dark humor from time to time as well. I say from time to time because sometimes the jokes I make are kind of like, really, Jasmine, why would you say that? That was kind of rude. Oh my God, should we be worried about you? But other times when they're going through stuff, I'll make a dark joke and it kind of lightens the mood just a little bit, takes some of the stress off, you know? My family, we're good about kind of like, what's the word? Riffing off of one another. So if I say something horrible, they'll say something worse or the same like level. It's great, I love it. So that feeds into like the next bullet I wrote, my ability to make people smile during moments where they want to cry. Because there have definitely been a few times where I've sat with my mom or my sister and I can tell that something was really heavily weighing on them and it was getting pretty sad, and I'd made a joke and kind of eased the tension just a little bit. A night of quality sleep. Woo, sleep is so important. I love when I get a full like 8, sometimes 9 hours. It is very rare if I get 9 hours, and if I get 9 hours, I feel like a whole new person. And I kind of want that for myself right now. Like, I haven't had the best sleep the past couple nights just because I've been up late editing or watching movies. Ooh, this is cold. Oh my God, it's freezing. You can tell I don't do this often. It feels good, but at the same time, it's absolutely frigid. Ooh, boy. Yeah, I've just been up really late and it's messing with my sleep cycle. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I need to start going to bed again at like 8:30, or maybe 8:30 is too early because then I'd be waking up at 5 a.m. and I don't really want to do that. So I think a comfortable time would be 9:30, even 10. I should take 10 as a win. I put laughs shared with my sister. My sister and I have great laughs. We have so much fun when we're together. That's why I'm always super excited to see her for the holidays. We dance, we sing, do silly stuff. I feel like if you're not doing silly things with your family, like, no offense, but y'all are boring. Ooh, this feels nice. I put air conditioning on here. I'm so funny. Like I said before, it really doesn't have to be that deep to put air conditioning. I think I put air conditioning because my sister was dealing with like an air conditioning problem in her apartment. They didn't have central air and I'm chilling here. So to go back to AC units, ooh, yeah, I'm blessed. I put on here focusing on the positive rather than the negative. Like I said, over the past year, I've really been trying to work on that, and I feel like I've made a lot of progress. In the past, I was definitely focusing more on all the bad stuff that was going on, and that kind of made living life a little dull or unenjoyable. Like before going to a restaurant, for example, I was always focused on who's gonna be there. Are people gonna judge me for what I look like, what I'm wearing, how I eat, my laugh, if I'm laughing and having a good time with whoever I'm with. All that stuff is super fucking irrational, and like, yeah, it's just a Debbie Downer way of looking at life. I should be more focused on the fact that I'm going to a restaurant with somebody whose company I enjoy and we're going to have a good time. The food's going to be delicious. Even if it's not going to be delicious, we're gonna have a good time reviewing the food and talking shit about it, comparing restaurants and dishes and all that fun stuff. In my past experience, it was easier to set myself up to be disappointed or like expect to be disappointed so that I'm not disappointed when I'm disappointed. That makes sense? Oh, let me change positions again. My foot was falling asleep. Little cute ones, got a breeze on a hot day, cause, ooh boy, when it's like 100 degrees and sticky, When you have a cooling breeze that comes through, it feels life-changing. Feels like you can actually breathe. One that's a little sappy, I put the opportunities I've had to love and be loved, because I think a lot of people take that for granted as well. Like to have a support system, to have people who genuinely care about you and love you for who you are, who want to be there to see you succeed and help you through times where, ooh, my hand's cramping, you might not be succeeding. Yeah, I just never want to take my loved ones for granted. And even if relationships haven't worked out, I'm just grateful for the fact that I have had those opportunities to be there to support somebody and help them through tough times. Some relationships are only meant to last a season, not a lifetime, and that's okay. I don't know where else I'm supposed to like roll this. I've been rolling for a minute. I think that's it. That should be good. Now that that's done. Let's see what else? As I let my face kind of sit, I'm gonna pick something else to kind of read off of. Ooh, another one. The opportunities I've had to travel. I've been blessed enough to be able to leave the country, not just on one occasion, multiple occasions, and I was able to spend like a week or two at a time. And I think it's just really important to experience another person's culture. Whether you can actually leave the country or not to do that, you really don't have to necessarily, but being able to leave the country and be immersed in a different culture, nothing really tops that, in my opinion, when it comes to being able to understand other people and how they think, what they value, all that stuff. I'm not gonna say that I've met a lot of people out there. Most of those trips have been, if not all those trips, have been with family, so it was more of a bonding experience with them. I would like to be able to go experience another country. I almost said world. Another world would be sick. But yeah, another country and meet more people and connect with more of the locals. If you know me though, I have a really hard time talking to strangers. So I'm not really sure how that would work. And especially in a place where I don't know anyone, there's always an alarm going off in my head, stranger danger. And I don't want to be like drugged or kidnapped, you know? So I just have to get over that fear, because I feel like coming to the States, there's probably a higher percentage or chance of getting attacked in this day and age. So yeah, I need to work on that. Have any of you left the country? And if you have, like, where did you go and what was that experience like? Were you chatty with everybody? My sister's always chatty with the locals, so I don't know how she does it, but were you chatty with people? Did you learn something new about yourself, about the culture there? How was it? Spill the tea. I want to know. This one's a fun one. The sense of joy and accomplishment I feel when creating content. I am artsy fartsy, so I like making things. I feel like this list was a doozy. I'm gonna list off like 2-3 more. We're not gonna get really deep into it, but I just want to go over them and then leave you there. So when I put the friends who've reached out to me this week, because, you know, sometimes you have friendships where you guys don't really connect that often. My plants I've managed to keep alive, that's a fun one. And the people I've grown close to over the past 6 months. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's something that you wanna share that you're grateful for, please leave it down below and we can chat about it just a little bit, wee bit. If you wanna share, please do. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Merry Christmas. I'm gonna put a little bit of this eye cream on. I said I wasn't going to. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't realize it was a pump. Okay. Oh, I feel like that was way too much for one eye. And we'll see if this changes anything. This will be the last product I put on my face. It doesn't smell like anything. It's yellow. Interesting. I'm gonna look dewy.